All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be a special drop coming up to 9/11, talking about Stair Climb. So I have the privilege to sit down with Riley Murph. He is one of the founding members here. He started to climb the 9/11 Stair Climb in 2015 at the Talking Stick Resort with 14 firefighters, and it was just something for fun. The next year, they partnered with Salt River Fields and had grown to about 300 climbers and raised $5,000. After that, there are about 1,500 climbers raising over $120,000. The climb benefits East Valley Firefighters Relief Fund, that's here in Arizona, and the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, so all the brothers. The climb is for all ages and it's open to the public. So you'll be climbing along firefighters all in the state of Arizona and the public to honor those that were killed on 9/11. Registration is $35. And if you sign up, and I know this is short notice, by August 22nd, you're guaranteed some swag. If you want more information, and everything will be attached in the show notes down below, please go to www.saltriverstairclimb.com. So again, the event coordinator, and while we're sitting down, welcome my brother. This is Riley Murph. He is a captain at Salt River Fire Department at Station 293. They're a ladder rescue and technical rescue station that serves Scottsdale, Salt River, and the Talking Stick Entertainment District. He's done all this with his good friend, engineer Terry Kubal, and he has been running this event with the help of Discovery, Salt River, and Salt River Fields since 2016. So, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy day, my brother. Did I miss anything, mispronounce anybody's name? Is there anything you want to add?
No, I think we're good, man. You hit it on the head, and that's pretty much the gist of what we got going on. Thanks for having us. We appreciate you making the time for us.
Cool. And again, absolutely. This is an event that I have had the privilege to go to twice so far. I'm going to go again this year. And again, we connected over Instagram, and it's just a good event in the state to honor and if you talk to guys from New York City, the most successful rescue in the American Fire Service history, which is amazing way to look at it. So please, my brother, you have the floor. So tell the audience kind of the inception, how you guys started. I know I gave a quick little brief intro, but my brother, the floor is yours. Please tell everybody what you guys are doing, what's coming up in the next couple weeks, and how they can sign up, all that good stuff, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So kind of like you alluded to, we started this in 2015. We were just doing it for fun. We made a couple shirts, and we were in the stairwell at Talking Stick, which is 15 stories. And we are like, hey, let's climb to remember, right? So we made a shirt, we made a poster, we kind of just did it. And it was awesome, man. It was a butt kicker. We were like, man, this could actually be something. So I started doing some Googling, doing some research, and come to find out the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation does these stair climbs all over the country. Colorado Springs, Red Rocks, like FDIC, they do them everywhere, right? Lambeau Stadium. And so I got a hold of them, and I was like, hey, this is something that we'd like to do. And the lady at the NFFF, Regina, she's like, yeah, we'll help you. She got us set up. The first couple of years, it was slow. You're building a charity event. It takes time to grow and to get people interested. But this is our 9th year now, and man, we've been doing really well. We've been helping a lot of people, and really that's our mission, is to help people, right? So this not only benefits the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation and all their programs that they run, right? Our East Valley Firefighters Relief Fund. So, God forbid one of us gets killed in the line of duty, gets job-related cancer and injury, that money stays local here to not only the East Valley guys, but as you know, in Arizona, we all help each other out, right? Something happens to you in Glendale, you're going to catch a check from 2260, right? Or East Valley Firefighters Charities, or whoever it may be, right? We all help each other out. But the big thing about our stair climb that the NFFF does is they make sure that some of this money goes back to the FDNY. So that's one thing that we're really, really proud of. You see a lot of 9/11 stuff going on, and they're kind of grifting, in my opinion, like, oh, they're selling shirts or whatever, and none of the proceeds go back to the FDNY, and they're the ones that went through this, right? So the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation makes sure that some of the money goes back to support the Counseling Services Unit, which is apparently a really, really good program in the FDNY that a lot of guys take advantage of. And as you know, we're approaching the 25th year, and now I believe we've surpassed the number of people killed on 9/11 by the people that have 9/11. So there's over 343 firemen that have 9/11 related illness. So, we say never forget. This is our way of never forgetting and keeping doing what we're doing. And like you said, we've got some amazing partners. Plexus, who is a community partner of ours, they're our presenting sponsor. They've been with us for the last 3 years. They're a huge asset. Salt River Fields, the team at Salt River Fields is amazing. They do so much legwork for this thing. They help us with graphic design, promo, setup. I mean, everything. And then Discover Salt River, who is the Salt River Tribe's tourism division, help us out with this thing, among many other sponsors we have that are just a huge part of this thing. But like you said, we've grown to over 1,500 people at each year. We're raising over $120,000 and really helping those out that need it. We're trying to fill that gap. Workman's comp doesn't always work. We know presumptive law doesn't always work. We know if something catastrophic happens, there's just not always enough to cover it. And this is a way that we can give back and help bridge that gap, and then give back to the fire service that's given so much to us. You know what I mean? That's the big thing. Is kind of when I grew up in my early days, the fire service, charity and giving back was a big thing, and that's been instilled with me from the beginning. And this is kind of one way that we can do that.
No, I love it. And we tell guys all the time, like, say yes more than you say no, especially when you get hired. And that's what we're talking about, our charities and giving back to the public. And the American Fire Service allots us so many things. And it's nice that you guys are doing something to give back. And this is something that's near and dear to my heart. Like, a lot of guys don't know, only the ones that are super close to me. But I mean, to share a little bit of my experience, 9/11, I was there. I was in the United States Coast Guard at the time. I was stationed at Sandy Hook, New Jersey, we were the first military unit on scene during 9/11. So we had spent probably about a month after the day doing security and everything else. And then we ended up moving bodies from the city to Governor's Island, which is crazy. It's like a closed circle. Governor's Island used to be a Coast Guard base. It's now just abandoned. That's actually, most guys will recognize it from the UL testing. So all the slicers came, they burned houses, government housing at Governor's Island, which is where, so the funny thing, I was born, but they made that place a makeshift morgue at one point, and it was just, but it was savage. So I didn't have even close to the experience that the firemen had, but I have a direct heartstring that's attached to 9/11. Now, let me ask you guys, when I had the privilege to get hired out here, I used to be back east, I was a fireman, and then I came out here for my ex. But I remember our first year right out of the academy, we got a little tag, and actually it was a white tag that had one of the 343 firemen that are killed. Do you guys still do that, or is that something that's a little bit different now?
Yeah, we still do that. So the NFFF send us a tag of everybody that was killed on 9/11, and now they're starting to give us tags of people that are dying of illnesses. So that's kind of the thing, is you walk into the event, you check in, you get your shirt, you get your swag, and then you walk over, and we have all the tags listed in alphabetical order, and they're kind of hanging on this deal, and you can go up and find the person that you want to carry, and you're carrying that tag, and you're symbolically completing their journey to the top of the Twin Towers, right? You're carrying them with you. And man, it's kind of crazy as you're talking about your experience. We've got people that have family that were killed in 9/11, or people that were there. And it seems like, the more you talk about this stuff, everybody has some kind of connection to 9/11, right? We've got people that come up to us every year and they're like, hey, thanks for doing this. I was there. A guy last year was telling us, hey, I was there. I was in an office building about a block away, and he was telling me his story about what went down and what he experienced during the collapse of the towers. And it was insane, the story that he had, just a civilian, right? And he's like, I got some buddies that work for the FDNY and they didn't make it. And he's like, this is an amazing thing. We'll be here every year. Like, I got goosebumps talking about it right now, man. Like, everybody has a connection to this thing in some way, it seems like, you know what I mean? Be it why they got on the job, or they had family there, or they know somebody that was killed, or whatever it is, right? So kind of bouncing around a little bit, but yes, we still do those tags, and that's kind of part of it.
And that's cool. And I just want to mention that because that was so symbolic to me. It's, as my first one, I still have that tag, and that tag is in my turnout pocket, and it goes with me to every job. And to me, that means something. I talk to the privilege now to be a recruit training officer at the Regional Training Academy here, and we talk about that. So we do here in the off season, I would say prior to 9/11, we do a 22 tower stair climb to honor. And then I always have the privilege to talk to the kids about the importance of this. And then obviously, no matter what the season is, on 9/11, we always climb the towers to honor the brothers. But again, the fact that you guys do this is amazing. So that's why we wanted you on the show, and just really make sure that everyone knows about it, and then how they can get there and what they can do. So just to clarify for everybody, and we kind of talked about it in the intro a little bit. So when we were sponsored by our department. So they allowed us to go with turnouts. We were able to wear bottles on air until we ran out of air, and then we unclicked and did from there. So just so the audience knows, do you support they can come in turnouts, bottles, civilian clothes? Can you kind of break that down? Like, what are you
Yeah.
allowed to do? What are you not allowed to do for that
Yeah.
stair
So
climb?
absolutely. So you'll see firemen from all over the state. They'll come, they'll bring their turnouts, they'll bring their packs, they'll mask up, they'll do it on air. Some guys are carrying academy flags, some guys are carrying department flags. Some guys just come in PTs, they come with their families, they got their little son on their shoulders doing it. You'll see parents coming and watching, grandparents coming and watching. You can do as little or as much as you want. And it's just about being there and supporting, right? It's not a race. It's not like a fitness challenge or whatever, right? Like, people just come to hang out and experience this. And it's a pretty incredible deal, man. I mean, you've seen it. It's wild. It's just everybody comes together for one cause, right? We said never forget. Well, you're not forgetting, you're honoring it. And now, people are coming that weren't even born when this happened, and they're learning about the significance of this event in the American Fire Service. And it's a great point that the greatest rescue ever made, right? It's not just a tragedy. It was an amazing effort by the FDNY, and the things that they accomplished it's incredible. There's never been anything like it. I hope there never is again.
Yeah, and it's crazy for the guys that don't know, and I don't know the exact number, so please fact check me on this. I believe it was over 5,000 civilians saved that day. And the crazy thing about it is, yes, Towers 1 and 2 did fall, but there were buildings associated. It was building 3, 4, 5, 6, all surrounding that they made valid rescues from, that when those towers came down, those buildings were also destroyed.
Yeah.
It's crazy just the amount of carnage, but the good that came from that, and the amount of guys that were able to get out of that situation because of the brothers that, went to the biggest job of their life, which is exactly what that was at the time. So why did you feel that it was important for you guys? I know you started in 2015 with basically probably just your crew and your friends. So where did that come from? Were you guys just sitting down at the kitchen table one day and said, we should do something? Or where did the spawn come from?
So I got picked up with Salt River in 2015, and I was like, one of the traditions of the fire service, right, is you got to do a probie project. And I was like, man, I want to do something different. I'm not going to redo a hose card or, something that's been done, or make a plaque. Like, I'm going to do something different. So I was like, let's do this, right? So that's kind of where that came from. And 9/11 was a real big deal for me. It was one of the reasons I became a fireman. And it was pretty impactful to me. And where I started my fire service career, the guys were very, very old school. And just this kind of stuff was really ingrained in me early in my career. You honor, you remember, and you give back. And that's kind of just something that always stuck with me. And that's why we wanted to do something like this. It's our department is a very young organization, and we didn't have anything like this. And I was like, man, what a great opportunity to bring people together, build that brotherhood, bonding through suffering, or trauma bonding, or whatever you call it. Right, let's go climb some stairs, and it's going to suck, but we're all going to feel really good about it afterwards, and it's for a good cause.
When is your actual, for you guys, and excuse me is it the arena, like at Salt River Stadium? Is that what it's called?
So it's Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, and it's an amazing venue. So it's the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Colorado Rockies spring training facility, baseball spring training, and it's a beautiful facility, man. It's outdoors, it's the lights, the billboards, like we have all our sponsor logos on the Jumbotron and all that stuff. And we're pretty unique. I believe we originally were the only place that did this climb at night. And I actually had the opportunity to go back to Maryland and go speak at the National Fallen Firefighters Stair Climb Coordinators Conference and meet all the other people from all the stair climbs around the country, and kind of get some ideas from them and see what they were doing. And we were the only ones that were doing it at night. Now I think the Four Corners Stair Climb up in Farmington, they're doing it at night too, to combat the heat,
That's
So
really
it's
cool.
it's just evolved into this cool thing. And, we've made relationships with other departments and guys like you and people from across the country just by doing this, meeting people and talking about it and bouncing ideas off. What can we do to make this better? And essentially, like I said, how can we all fill the gap to give back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So for your location, can you give the audience the address and then the actual date and the time? And then we'll also include that in the notes. But I do feel like it's important that guys hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. It's 7555 North Pima Road in Scottsdale. It's right by the Great Wolf Lodge over there. It's September 13th. We always try to do it around 9/11, but we try to make it on a Saturday because we do it in the evening, right? So opening ceremonies start at 6:30 p.m. and the climb starts at 7. We've got some really, really awesome things for the opening ceremonies this year. It keeps getting better and better. You know, it's a really neat venue. You get to go down on Major League Baseball grass. You're down on the field. Everybody lines up in heats. All of our sponsors have their tents and their booths set up. They're giving out free stuff. You know, we've got like KUPD is one of our longtime supporters. They come out and they're handing out swag and giving away concert tickets and doing all this stuff. A Spooner PT down there, they're stretching people, giving massages, rehabbing people. Kimes Ranch, a really popular Western wear company, they're giving us 300 hats. So the first 300 people to come and check in get a free Kimes Ranch hat, which is awesome. It was a huge hit the last couple of years. Again, Plexus is one of our big sponsors. There's so many people that have such a huge part in making this happen that want to help and want to give back and want to remember, you know, guys like you, right? Putting us on your podcast, AZTV7, we go down and we do a new, it's amazing how people want to get involved. And we're lucky to have formed those really good relationships with our sponsors and participants. And, you know, it's everybody wants to be involved. They're there for the right reason. You know, I was on the Firefighter 48 a podcast with Ben Lindquist not that long ago talking about this thing, and been on the Earn It All podcast, and it's just everybody just can get behind remembering and giving back, and again filling that gap where the guys need it if something happens, you know.
Yeah, and like I said, it's about the brothers, it's for the brothers. I mean, it's a win all the way across the board, and I love the fact that you guys are, I don't even know what the word is, I guess, but you're willing to work around schedules, because there's another stair climb that we do to honor 9/11 that's in city of Glendale, but it's during fire school, which makes no sense. So we have Arizona Fire School coming up first week of September. I'm one of the state instructors there, but it's one of the deals where you're okay. Well, then I will see you there, brother. I'm teaching forcible entry. What class are you?
Ladder ops.
My other favorite thing in the world. But so it's nice. So again, brothers, we'll all see each other there, but it's one of those things where you have to understand, like, we need to capture the go-getters, the hard chargers, the guys that are just ingrained in this, but we can't conflict with things that we're going to be involved in anyway, like fire school. So again, I appreciate that you guys understand that and you're moving it around. So the majority of the guys that really, the guys that want to go, the majority of the guys that can go. And again, this is Copper State Fireman Podcast, but we exist because of the Copper State Fools, and the Copper State Fools will be out there in gangbusters, because again, this is what we're talking about. We honor the fallen in every chapter meeting, and there's no greater honor than honoring the 343. So it's just New York City Fire, again, the greatest rescue in American fire service history. And the fact that you guys are here to help honor the brothers is just, we love it as an organization, and we can do nothing but thank you guys for putting this stuff on for all of us in the state. And then, I mean, hopefully people outside the state too, if they're available to come.
Yeah, man, we've had people come from all over the country. We've actually had a couple people that were visiting from overseas, and they came from Europe, and they came and did a climb while they were here, and they're like, oh my gosh, like this is so much different than the fire services in Europe. And it's just it's really cool to hear their stories and hear their perspective on things, you know. So we try to make it accessible for everybody, and that's why we switched it to tonight, right? Because it's hotter than heat during the day. So it's amazing, man. I mean, you've been there, you know the vibe. Like it's and it's kind of a little bit different event, right? The Hunter Club does their event on the west side. They do it in the stadium, and it's a very somber event, you know. Our opening ceremonies are very somber and very respectful. You know, the colors, we have pipes and drums. We're actually doing a swearing in of some Army recruits this year at the opening ceremonies. Yeah, so that's gonna be really, really cool. You know, we've had a piece of the tower out there that people have climbed with. Really unique things, but we want to honor them, and we want to keep it somber and respectful, but at the same time, we want people to enjoy being there, and it becomes a pretty, I don't even know the word, you know, there's a lot of camaraderie once you get out there and you start climbing. People are high-fiving, people are hugging, people are crying, people are waving American flags, people are just having the time of their life, man, and it's all for that one cause. And never forget and give back, you know what I mean?
I love you said that too, because I was actually going to say that, like, my experience was insane. People I've never met, and we're going up and down, and everyone's fist bumping and, like you said, high-fiving and hugging, and you're like, I'm fist bumping a 9-year-old and then literally like a 75-year-old right after. It's just a cool experience. Crazy. Yeah. And not even if you're not even if you're a fireman, if you're listening to this and you're a family of a fireman and something like that, it is, I encourage you, if you're available, even if you're not, make yourself available, because it's such a good cause. But more importantly, it's just such a good experience for the firemanship. The love
It is.
and the brotherhood and sisterhood. It's just, there's very few things out there. And again, what you guys are doing is absolutely amazing. And I can't thank you guys enough. And what a great freaking rookie or probie project. And look where it is now, 10 years later, and it's freaking huge,
Yeah, it's
off
crazy,
of
man.
much better than a freaking hose rack or a plaque that you would have put above the freaking kitchen door or something.
Yeah, we wanted to do something that helped other people, right? It's not about serving yourself, it's about serving others, right? And you're talking about the firemanship, right? In the East Valley, we all see each other, we all train together, everybody's runs calls together except for us. I'm sure we'll get into that, but like East Valley ladder training, for example, we all see each other, we all go out and train together. But like when guys come out from all the different departments, like Queen Creek has a huge showing in our event every year. They've been massive supporters from the beginning. So you see the same guys from Queen Creek Fire come out every year. Tempe sends guys, Chandler sends guys, Phoenix has had a couple trucks down there. Scottsdale PD has a team, Scottsdale Fire, all these people getting together, building these relationships, meeting each other. Hey, good to see you. I saw you last year. It's just that firemanship, that camaraderie, that brotherhood is just, it's a really cool event for that, man. And it brings us all together when there's, in the Valley, we all live, you may work in Glendale, but you may live in, whatever, Santan Valley, or you may
I live in Buckeye.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And
Yeah.
people come from all over the Valley to big things like this to get together for one cause. And it's cool to see that,
Yeah. And like you said, the Valley especially too, like I feel like we do a very good job here in the Valley of that firemanship. It doesn't matter that I work for a department, you work for a different department, whatever the case might be. We come to these events and we're immediately brothers and we're on the same team. And it's like you said, it's gangbusters, high fives,
Yeah.
some cold ones and really good stories about jobs and everything else. So that's what it's always all about. Before we start talking about some cool fireman stuff though, whatever you want to talk about with your event or anything we haven't talked about, please just let the audience know how they can sign up, all that fun stuff. What happens if they are listening to this after the 22nd, but before the 13th? How does that work?
Cool. Yeah. So you go to saltriverstairclimb.com. You sign up. It's $35. If you sign up before the 22nd, you'll get an event t-shirt when you check in. You can also buy extra shirts. They're $20. Just buy them online. We have to make a shirt order, ahead of time. So it's a challenge every year to get people to sign up and make sure we have enough shirts for everybody. Last thing we want to do is turn people away without a shirt, right? Shirts are awesome. So do that. Please go sign up, get signed up early. It really helps us out. We don't make a ton of money from the shirts. State 48 is our partner with the shirts, and they have been amazing to us. They cut us an amazing deal, and they're a huge supporter of the cause as well. They want to help firemen. So kind of what it is, you come in, you check in, you get your shirt, you get your swag, you get your badge, hang out, go down on the field, opening ceremonies. We have some guest speakers. We've had board members from the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation come out. Usually somebody from Plexus, our presenting sponsor, comes out and speaks. We've had families that the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation have helped out in the past with line of duty deaths. A couple years ago, we had a girl, Emma, her father died in the line of duty. She came out and spoke on how the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation has helped her. So some real personal things like that. Opening ceremonies go on, and then we start the climb, and it's outdoors at night, and we just zigzag through Salt River Fields through the stadium. It's 2 times. You zigzag once and you go back down on the warming track and you come back around and you zigzag again. You get to the end, you ring a bell. Fire Wipes is always there. Creston with Fire Wipes, works for Phoenix. He's another huge supporter of us. They're handing out Fire Wipes. People are wiping themselves down, going out on the grass and, laying there all smoked. And it's just an amazing thing. And then you go home, right? A lot of times we'll go out and we'll eat afterwards and have a couple drinks to celebrate and honor the fallen, give a toast to those that came before us and paved the way for this amazing culture and profession that we have today. And that's kind of it, man. It's down and dirty, climb some stairs, have some fun, give back, and remember. So saltriverstairclimb.com, please go get registered soon.
Gotcha. Now, with your arena, how many times are they going up and down to hit the Twin Towers?
So it's two times around. You go once and you come back on the warming track, and then you go back again. And again, you can do as little or as much as you want. I mean, you've done it. It's a butt kicker in gear, man. It's a lot.
It is. So, all fitness levels. Again, if you don't complete the entire climb, it's okay. Again, You're supporting a great cause. You're having a good time and you're meeting a bunch of really good people. So yeah, please come out, support the brothers doing a great thing for us. So again, I can't thank you enough, dude. I love what you're doing. Again, we will be there. Copper State Fools will be there for sure, 100%. So thank you for that invite. And so kind of as we wrap up a little bit, let's talk some cool fireman stuff. So guys listen to this all across the country, and we all fight the same fires and do the same thing, but we do it so much different. So we're talking about your 95% bread and butter house fire, single line, single story, two story, doesn't matter what it is. So in your system, the department you work for, when that gets dispatched, that box, that run number, whatever you guys call it, what do you guys get? And then if you can kind of march out how that works. Is it like an IC structured system like the Valley is? Is it SOP driven? If you just don't mind breaking it down for the listeners, how you guys
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're a little bit of a unique department. So we border the east side of the city of Scottsdale out onto the reservation. We're a tribal fire department. Just like everybody else in the Valley, we follow Volume 2, right? So Volume 2 SOPs and tactics and all that. It's an IC driven type thing, right? So it's just like anybody else, but we are a little bit unique. So we have 4 stations right now. We're getting ready to build our 5th. So we have 2 engines and 2 truck companies. So our ladders function as engines a lot, right? So we could be first in, like my area is commercial district. It's all commercial. We don't have a single typical residential structure in our area. So we're first in, we're an engine company, right? We're going into commercials. We have a ton of mid-rises, tons of hotels. We have talking sticks, the high-rise. We have manufacturing, big boxes. I mean, multi-million dollar car display, high-end sales places. We have nursing homes. We have rest homes. We have all kinds of stuff, right? So our area is really, really unique. But other than that, it functions just like the Valley. We're Volume 2 driven, right? So that's just kind of how we run. We're not part of the auto aid system. We're trying to get there. So we have to call, and Scottsdale usually comes and helps us, or Mesa comes and helps us. It takes a little bit of time. So we get to be a little bit cavalier and do some work on our own. And we work hard when we have fires. We have to kind of hold our own until help gets there. With only 4 companies, it can be challenging and it can be taxing, you know?
Now, what's your staffing on your engines and your ladders? How does that work for you guys?
So we have full-time staffing, like just like everybody else in the Valley. So we run 4 on our truck companies and 4 on our engines, and then we have rescues at each station. So it's an ambulance, right? So those are swarm personnel. They're fire guys. It depends on the crew, depends on kind of how that rotation works. We're on the 4896, so you might do, 1 tour on the rescue, 1 tour on the truck or whatever, right? So all our guys are very well rounded. They're very well versed in EMS and fire stuff. But yeah, so essentially every station is 6, essentially. So your truck or your engine, and then your rescue company. So and then like again, at our station, we're a TRT station. So we have a squad that we cross staff. So we get a TRT call, we just jump from the truck to the squad and go do our thing.
I got you. So with all that said too, when that initial fire comes out, is that a 3-in-1 then? So 3 engines, 1 ladder?
Yep.
Or okay.
Yep.
Now
we get kicked out as a 3-in-1, and then if we got something, we upgrade it to a working fire. And it's interesting. We have to request a TAC channel from either Phoenix or Mesa, depending on which side of the reservation we're working on. So hey, upgrade this to a working fire. I got a column showing, give me a TAC channel for Phoenix. We'll then go to a TAC channel for Phoenix, for example, if Scottsdale's coming to help us, right? We'll do our on-scene report, do all that stuff, and then essentially we're working off of the Phoenix dispatch system on their channels, essentially in a mutual aid type situation with Scottsdale or Mesa or whoever, right? If it's on the west side of our boundaries, we'll work with Phoenix and their alarm room in Scottsdale. If it's on the east side, we'll work with Mesa and their alarm room, right? It kind of just depends where it's at. And then we have kind of a pretty unique mutual aid agreement, with Fort McDowell and Fountain Hills. We run a lot of calls with those guys. They come and help us. The beeline goes all the way up through Fort McDowell, up to Fountain Hills, up to Shea, big MVAs and stuff like that. We'll go help them out. 293 C shift went up not that long ago and helped out with the fire. Got to cut a hole up in Fountain Hills area. I think the Fountain Hills truck guys were a little bit upset about that because our guys went up there and snuck their hole, but it is what it is, right?
Hey, first ladder gets a hole. That's all it comes down to. So it's a don't be so slow. That's okay.
That's it.
Okay, and then how many BCs do you guys have? Just 1 or?
Yep, so we have 1 BC and they have a BSO or a FIT, as some people call them, yep.
Okay, gotcha. And then, or do they automatically respond on all working house fires or structure fires? All right. Now, with your system, I'm just curious because you guys only have 4 stations. When that first arriving officer comes on scene, he gives his initial report, starts making assignments. When the BC comes on for you guys, for your department, does that BC always take command, or does he kind of feel dependent on that captain, that incident? Is it like his decision, or are you guys hard fast that BC will always take command on your fires?
If it's a working fire and it's a structure, that BC is going to take command, right? And then they're going to work in with that first company officer if they get assigned interior sector, for example, right? And they're going to work in tandem, just like everybody else does, to drive that IAP, right? hey, what do you need? I'm taking command from out here. Give me a can. And depending on that can is going to dictate where we go with tactics, right? If it's bread and butter room and contents and we got it knocked, right? Cool. We got it knocked down, fire control. Let's get a fan in here. Let's get lost stops, salvage and overhaul, all that good stuff. And then it's easy, right? If it's a more involved fire, then obviously things go from there, right? Ventilation, all the crazy stuff that goes along with into building that IAP throughout your plan.
Gotcha. Cool. Good deal. And then last cool fireman talk, just because, and we had talked, I think, off camera for a second. I can't remember now, but I'm a ladder captain. I work on a heavy rescue too. So through and through, I mean, oh, that's what we were talking about teaching, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So ladders is my jam. Forcible entry is my jam. Extrication is my jam. All that stuff, right? So we're very like-minded. So in your department, what is your truck culture or ladder culture like? Do you guys entertain any sort of targeted or event enter isolate search? Do you search in front of hand lines? Is it always with the hand line? Can you kind of march out for the audience your truck and ladder culture in your department?
So again, we're a pretty young organization, and we're like a lot of people. We have a bunch of people retiring. You know, we don't run as many fires as most of the departments around us. We don't honestly have a super strong truck company culture, but we're working on building that. You know, we're always training on the east side. We have East Valley Regional Ladder, which I'm one of the instructors for, and we've trained on VES or targeted search, right? We've trained on all this stuff. Luckily, we're pretty on the east side. We're pretty aggressive and progressive when it comes to roof operations and the way that we do them. We drill that stuff into guys at East Valley Ladder, and even in our own organization, how we cut, when we cut, the different kind of roofs we cut, the equipment we have. I would say that we're very aggressive and progressive with that as a whole on the east side. Again, from our department, we're smaller, right? Like I said, 4 stations. We're very lucky. We have very nice equipment. We're adequately taken care of. We have nice saws, you know, nice tools. Like, we're trying to build that truck company culture here in our organization and train our guys up. And we have a lot of really, really young green guys that we want to bring into the mix and teach them and get that kind of going. Our department's only been around since like 82. So we don't really have that. And we've really only started kind of really adopting volume 2 and playing by the Valley rules probably in the last 10 years, I would say. So it's all honestly a little bit new to us. So we're doing what we can to stay up with the times, and our guys are very well trained. We have a lot of really good people that work for us that are very, very capable and competent firemen. I work on A shift. Our officers on A shift are awesome. All the firemen on A shift are awesome. Our battalion chief's great. Like, we're very, very lucky.
Dude, that's awesome. And again, like I said, just from one ladder monkey to another,
Yeah.
it's a good thing. And I'm just part of a very large group of guys right now, very hardly pushing on that volume 2 west side, east side, on increasing the capabilities of our ladder culture with the targeted search, VIS, right? Forcible entries, everything else. But we've been interjecting a lot more tactical ladders, ladder rescue stuff.
Yep.
And like we're starting to do a West Side Ladder Training Academy out here that's in the inception. So it's great. I mean, this is something that, again, I would love in the future that maybe we can figure out some sort of collaboration between West and East Side too, because again, we all play under the same rules. And as long as we're all on the same page, pretty much we could do whatever the hell we want to do as long as we're all operating together. We're all fully trained. We have the appropriate PPE, everything else. But I love the fact that you guys are hard charging, you know, super aggressive, and then really trying to stay proactive on all the new modalities, because I mean, you're no different than we are, and everybody across the American Fire Service right now, everyone's young, you know, so it's
Everybody.
Our captains are young, are brand new. I mean, if you have 3 to 4 years on, you're definitely a senior fireman right now in this area. So it's good and scary all at the same time, but all the more reason why we can capitalize on all these additional trainings between all of our departments, because we need it, because our guys are young. And there's a lot more things that we should be allowed to do, and we can do, as long as we operate on the same page and we understand, you know, what kind of equal and opposite reactions we cause, negative and positive, on the fire ground, depending on what we're doing. But dude, it sounds like you guys are freaking doing the right thing. So you know, I love talking to firemen.
With East Valley Ladder, man, it's an amazing thing. One of the things that we do is we always invite the BCs out, right? Come out and see what your ladder companies are capable of. Come out and watch us do this stuff that you might have been scared of and thought, and watch the proficiency of these crews do it. And right. And then the BCs come out and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I had no idea that we could do that safely, right? I didn't know you guys had that equipment, or I didn't know you guys were trained to do that. be it targeted search or VES, balcony rescues. We do a lot of heavy lifting stuff. Tractor trailers, cement trucks, a lot of chain work. We kind of try to touch all those different things and really bring that truck company culture to the East Valley. Mesa Fire is a huge part of that. Casey Russell drives out a lot. Alan Blaine from Chandler, they're huge proponents of this stuff. Dan Rush from Gilbert, Matt Rush from Tempe. I don't know if you know Matt, he was teaching with us for a while before he, left the job. And all those guys, Ralph Barr, all those guys were all part of this and paving the way. And we're just trying to continue that and make it better, right? Like when you first got on, it was like, leave it better than you found it. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do with the ladder operations type stuff. And the training that we do, the opportunities that we have, and again, coming to work together with all these different agencies, right? You see the same people, you get to meet with the same people and run scenario based training with the same people and see different equipment and different capabilities and who does things different ways. And I'll tell you what, being one of the instructors, I think I've been out there instructing for 6 or 7 years now. Like I have learned so much from watching these other crews and picked up little things and picking other captains' brains. I'm a relatively new captain. I've only been a captain for like 3 years. So like the amount that I learned from going out there instructing and sharing my knowledge, I get so much out of it, man. And I would tell anybody, like, if you have an opportunity to get out and get involved in instructing, that is the best way to learn, man. Share what you have, but you'll pick up so much more.
And I tell guys all the time, if you want to be a better fireman, teach, because it will make you the best in whatever that modality that you get assigned to or tasked to do the most research on. I mean, I teach a bunch of classes and I tell guys all the time, I'm like, listen, I am not a subject matter expert. I was a guy that was tasked to do the most research. That's it. Right. And I have the most practice doing it. And I'm just going to show you what's worked for me. And I would love for you to show me a better way. Right. And I tell kids all the time, I'm like, even the recruits that I train, I'm like, listen, man, this is the best way I know how to do it right now. If you figure out a better way and it works, come back and teach me, please.
Yeah.
Because 100%. That's what it's all about. There's no more egos.
Everybody's got people lateraling from other departments, right? So guys will come in with experience. We've had guys lateral over from departments with 15 years on. And it's like, man, these guys have all this experience. Let's capitalize on it. Let's take their knowledge and their, the things that they've learned over their 15-year career that we may have never seen. And let's use it, right? Let's bring them in. Let's have them teach. Let's learn from them. It's stuff that nobody knows everything, right?
No, none of us are perfect at everything, but we can absolutely learn something from everybody, even the shitty firemen, So, dude, I love what you guys are doing, man. What a freaking great fire department. What a great cause you guys are doing. And obviously, like the guys that are listening, you can tell he's a brother. He's a great dude. He's doing, something that benefits all of us across the nation. And then on top of that is a go-getter, hard charger, and a ladder dog. So what else can you want from a freaking fireman running a stair climb? And that's what I'm talking about, dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm just a dude. I ain't anything special, man. I'm just a dude that's trying to, I love the job. The job has given me so much. It's given me a great life. It's given me great experiences. It allows me to take care of my family, and I love it, man. I got involved super, super young, and I'm not a legacy kid or anything like that. I just kind of fell into this, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me getting into this craft. You can never do enough to give back what it's given me. You know what I mean?
No, I agree all the time. And then, it's a perfect segue. So I'll get right into the questions then, because like you said, it's given you so much. So let's let the listeners know the why. So like we ask the why all the time. We ask guys, hey, why do you want to work for X fire department? And then after you get hired, we start asking them, hey, why do you want to be an RTO? Why do you want to go in fire investigation? Why do you want to do all these niche jobs within? But this is the why for you. So why did you get involved in the American Fire Service? So please tell the audience whatever you want to know on how you got into the best job in the world.
Yeah, so I was in high school, and I was a pretty rough and tumble kid in high school. Got in some trouble and all this, just like a lot of us, right? Didn't really have a direction in life. I was going to go to the military, and I wish I would have gone to the military. It's one of my big regrets in life. But they had a program. I'm from a little bitty town up in northern Arizona, and they had a program called NAVIT, which is like EVIT down here. And I think we were the first fire science class in the state. This was in 2002 or 2003, I can't remember. So I was like, whatever, fire, like, it sounds cool, right? So I got involved with it, got involved with Snowflake and Taylor Fire, and found out what it was all actually about, and instantly fell in love with it. So by the time I graduated high school, I had all my basic classes, your first responder and hazmat, all that stuff, and your NIMS classes and all that stuff. And then when I turned 18, I got my EMT and got my 1 and 2 and got involved with Snowflake Taylor Fire. And the town that I'm from had an all volunteer department, not even a full-time chief. And they were the old dudes that have been doing this since, you know, the 60s, right? So they were old school firemen, volunteer firemen, like East Coast firemen, you know, and just the knowledge that these guys had, especially because being on the I-40 where I'm from, like the knowledge from extrication, vehicle mechanics, you know, all that dynamic stuff from running these gnarly MBAs and from the 60s up into the 2000s when I left is just, these guys were amazing, right? And it was a really neat place. Like they had a very, very strong culture and tradition. You would walk into their fire station, there was glass cases lining the walls full of trophies from fire musters and make and break challenges. And, you know, every Monday night was steak night, right? And then like, you know, the first Tuesday of the month was training night. And then Wednesday was ladies night and everybody bring their wives up to the department. We'd cook steaks and beans and all this stuff. And everybody got together and, you know, holidays were a family thing and the 4th of July barbecue and all that stuff. And that's kind of how I got introduced to it. And it just stuck with me. Right. So that history, that culture and that tradition has always been very, very important to me. And it's something that I've just kind of held on to throughout our career. Right. Like we just had the 20th anniversary of our station being open. So, you know, we set up a thing where people brought their families and we all kind of got down and had a little potluck at Station 293 and celebrated 20 years. You know, it wasn't a big formal thing. It's just, hey, let's all get together and hang out and have some firemanship and some brotherhood and some camaraderie. And that's kind of my story, how I got involved with it. And I left Northern Arizona, came down here, started tested everywhere for years, right? Got on as a reserve in a smaller department, and then I got hired at another smaller department, and then just kind of worked my way up to getting where I'm at now at Salt River. Like I said, I got hired in Salt River in 2015, and I've been there ever since, man. And I love it, man. It's a great place to work. We're very well taken care of. We have amazing opportunities. You know, it's pretty cool being part of a small organization and being able to make change and impact things in a positive way, be it through training or charity or just being involved, right? Like there's a little over 100 of us line guys. So you can get involved and you can make change if you want to. And that's another piece of advice I'd give to younger guys, right? Get involved, leave it better than you found it, and be the change that you want to see. And I'm not, I don't want to make it sound like I'm tooting my own horn, because I'm not. It's just, I love it. I'm a nerd for the job. I want to be involved. I want to see things get better. I love it, man. It's sleep and breathe this stuff.
And dude, you're in like-minded, like company. I mean, that's what the Fools is all about, is just a collaboration of dudes that just love this freaking job in every aspect of it, which is the job itself and then the people, which is really what makes it. But it's funny, like we talk all the time, and it is literally half of us, because I did the same thing. I fell into this job kind of by accident after the military, but it was like, and then it was the best job in the world. I didn't know I was meant to be a fireman until I became one. But I would have been, I honestly at one point would have been happy probably being a cop too. But it's like, not in the long term.
Well, you won the lottery, man.
Oh, dude, it's crazy, because it's the same deal. It's like we busted our fucking asses. Like when I say this, like we fell into it. We fell into deciding we wanted to do the job, and then you marched it out. It's a process to get hired. It's very hard. And then now it's crazy because it's a lot easier, so we're dealing with the cultural shift to try to make sure that we hire the right people and then maintain these cultures. So kind of with that said, going into the next question, cultures are huge. And you said it, you love this job. You love the cultures and the history. So the second question is your favorite American Fire Service tradition. And again, it doesn't have to be your fire department. It could be anywhere. But what do you love the most tradition-wise about the American Fire Service? But why? Why does it hold such a special place in your heart, brother?
Honestly, pipes and drums, man, for line of duty deaths and services. I play in the state pipe and drum band, and that has always been something to me that's just been incredible. Again, right, giving back, all these guys and gals that get together to go honor their fallen brothers and sisters, right? Like, I mean, you've been to line of duty deaths, unfortunately, services, right? When the band comes in and they strike up and they come in and we're honoring those people that gave their lives for the public, man. Like, that's the coolest thing. And then the history behind the pipes and drums, how it came, like from back east, right? With the culture and tradition of all these people, these immigrants coming and taking these jobs, these dirty, hard, low-paying, blue-collar, nasty jobs that nobody else wanted to do, and then their culture coming in and influencing the American Fire Service to being what it is today. I mean, now look at what Pipes and Drums does. I mean, go to Colorado Springs. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible, man. That's by far my favorite tradition. And again, it's a way to give back, right? It's a small way to give back. You can never repay a family for what they gave the public when somebody is killed, right? But this is a small way to honor them and give back and show your appreciation, right? You know, what other cool way to honor your brothers and sisters that have fallen by going out there and having some beautiful traditional music. It's cool. I really enjoy it.
And no one has actually said that before, which is crazy because I know every single one of us feel the same way. Well, I do, so fuck everybody else. But when those pipes and drums start, we just graduated an academy class, and that's a joyous occasion. And
Yeah.
it's still like is an emotional feeling as soon as you hear the bagpipes start to blow up, right? And you're like, oh my God, and you hear the first beat of the drum. It is an experience as a fireman that I can't put words to. And the fact that you're involved in that is just amazing. But yeah, tradition wise, there's nobody else out there that has. It is a very distinct. Anybody in the world can hear that and be like, oh, that's for firemen, you know?
Yep.
And they have no idea what the song is, anything else, but they understand that, which I think speaks volumes to our traditions and the fact that it's so ingrained. And it does. It gives me goosebumps every time I hear a band come out there to start playing for good or bad.
Yeah. And that's stuff we have to hold on to, you know, tradition. As the generational shift comes in the fire service, it kind of seems like the traditions, we have to hold on to them, right? We can't let that go. People have to continue to put in effort to keep those things alive. Because if you don't, they'll disappear. And then what do we have? Then it's just another job, right? There's so many things that make this profession the greatest job in the world, in my opinion. And traditions and things like that, and the effort that guys put in to hold on to those traditions and values, that's what makes this so special, right? Like you can go anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country, right? Here in Canada, and you know that like all firemen are the same for the most part, right? And you'll get the same thing no matter where you go. Like it's just so cool, right? Like you can go to wherever and you got a brother, you're in need, go to a fire station. You got a brother there and they'll help you out. They're going to give you some guff, but they'll help you out. You know what I mean?
That's how you know they like you, right?
Yeah,
if they don't say shit to you, they don't like you, right? If they don't make fun of you.
Yeah, this guy.
Dude, I love it. All right. So last question, my favorite question. So again, magical lamp, king of the day, however you want to put it, right? But you snap your fingers, zero sweat equity, instant gratification. You change something in the American Fire Service. That could be implementing, deleting, whatever it is. What would it be for you? But more importantly, why would you insert, delete, change, add, whatever this is?
You know, I think the easy thing is say like no cancer, right? But it is what it is, right? Like that's not going to happen. That's just an inherent part of our job. But something that you could actually change, like kind of like you and I were talking about off camera, is policy-driven tactics and assignments, right? Like on our crew, for example, we have riding assignments on my truck. So we know, hey, you're the tools guy, you're the nozzle guy. Hey, we go to the roof. This is how we're setting up the aerial. This is the saws you're taking. This is where we cut our inspection hole. This is what we do. Like those types of things. I think if everybody could get on board with that and everybody just knew their job, and it would take a lot of things off the IC's back. It would take a lot of things off that first thing company officer's back. Guys could just, especially for truck companies, right? Like go to the roof. This is what we do. This is how we give our report. This is how we identify building construction. This is what we do for those cuts for that building construction. Like we know this is a parallel cord truss, wood decked roof. We know we're doing pullbacks. We know we're doing center rafter louvers. Like guys know, hey, I'm Sawyer 1, I'm Sawyer 2. If everybody could just get on board with knowing their positions, knowing their responsibilities without having to say it. Like, I don't know about you, but as a company officer, sometimes I struggle communicating to my crew exactly what I want them to do in an effective and timely manner, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons we came up with writing assignments on the crew. Is like, hey, I don't need to tell you, well, pull 1 3/4 to the front door for search and rescue, fire, attack. Like you're sitting in the nozzle seat, you know you're pulling a line. I trust you to pull the right line and do what you need to do. I'm going to go do what I need to do. I'll meet you there, then we'll go take care of work. Like if everybody could just get on the same page, standard actions equal standard outcomes, right? Just do what needs to be done and just get after it, right? That's, to me, like that would make everything so much smoother.
You're absolutely right. And again, I mean, we're both suppression officers, but something that drives me absolutely insane is I have arrived, and it might be 5 seconds after the first in company, but now I have to sit there and wait for
Wait.
them to do march out orders on the radio, even though I know for a fact, because I'm watching what the building's doing, I'm watching what the crew's doing, I know the time of day, the setback, the building construction of whatever that is, because we're good firemen, but I cannot physically act until they give me that assignment, even though I'm going to do the exact assignment they're going to give me.
It's
And
taking more time.
yeah, and it might be unpopular, but it doesn't matter because it's my opinion, it's my podcast. So I could say whatever I want. And I have a disclaimer that covers my ass on this, but the crazy thing about it is we under volume 2 is a micromanaging fire department because you're not allowed to act until you are told to do the exact function. Imagine if we had predetermined running assignments where as soon as you arrive, depending on when you arrive, you know your job, unless things are out of the norm. And then guess what you have to do? Click and we talk and we tell them something different. My biggest heartache about having to wait for an assignment and all the chatter on the radio, especially on the east side of the state where they chatter even more than we do, which is amazing because I think we talk way too much, is like if we were, God forbid, to have a Mayday, I always ask the same question. I'm like, how do I get my Mayday across? And it's not how to talk on the radio. It's how do I get the radio time? Because it is just blatantly covered with, too much additional information. So, dude, I wish we had that magic lamp because that would be one of my first things where it's like, hey, bad news only, bro. That's all we have to talk about on the radio. If I'm not talking on the radio, everything's like gangbusters. We're good. You don't have to worry about it.
I will say this, though, that, I've heard people say that Arizona is the Disneyland of the fire service because of the auto aid system and all that. I'm sure you've heard that as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was having a conversation with somebody a couple months ago talking about tactics versus, Pacific Northwest versus the East Coast versus Volume 2 versus Texas versus blah, blah. We don't kill a lot of firemen in Arizona.
Correct.
Right? Which everybody wants to be more aggressive. Everybody wants to get things done, but we don't. Like, we're a pretty safe system. It's pretty popular right now on the internet to go, well, if you're not putting yourself in danger, then, you don't care about the people, which I agree with, and I subscribe to that 100%. But our system does work. Can it always be better? Right? But we don't kill a lot of firemen here on scenes. And that's because we operate the way we do. In my opinion, do I think that we could do it more aggressively? Yes. But it's hard to argue with stuff when you don't kill firemen and other places do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, no. And I agree with you wholeheartedly because of our system. Our accountability is a lot higher than a lot of other systems and regions. But just to play devil's advocate on that one, I believe, and again, this is just my personal opinion, I believe our building construction is why we kill less guys than more, just because, and I tell guys out here, because I was a fireman 11 years back east in the Baltimore region, and I tell guys all the time around here, in a house, not commercial building, in a house, I am 0% concerned about being trapped and lost because our building construction, as you know, is garbage. It's stucco. If anyone that lives in this area, if you have a neighbor that their dog is barking inside, you can hear it inside your house, right? Compared to back east where because of the temperature differences, right? The houses are a lot more sealed. You will get vent limited fires compared to out here where you don't run into vent limited fires. And then the majority of our fires back east were basement fires. And that's where we hurt and kill a lot of guys in basements because we fail to recognize that the fire had started in the basement, and kind of that's where we fall in, plus Laster and Plath. I mean, you could go on and on and on, but I absolutely agree with you. Our system does do a very good job of protecting us because of the accountability, but and you hit it. Can we do better? Yeah, absolutely. Can we be more aggressive? Of course we can, but I do believe we are transitioning the correct direction by allowing guys like us, officers on scene, to be able to make that decision by backing us up with training, more modalities, giving us more slideshows and saying, hey, I'm empowering you in the right front seat as a suppression officer to pick one of the 20 things we've trained you on to implement because you're the only one that knows what's going to work right now because you're the only one there,
I mean, to me, man, it's like the company officers inside drive the scene, right? Like battalion chief sitting in a truck, you're seeing a different view of things from the outside, right? Which is extremely important, but you're not inside. You don't see what I see. Like if I call for something, if I'm first thing company officer and I got water on the fire and like I'm like, hey, I need vertical ventilation right now. There should be zero questions from the IC unless they're seeing something absolutely crazy that's contradicting whatever. We're gonna make a defensive shift and we're gonna whatever happening. But like you should drive it, and your battalion chief should trust you to drive that as the interior company officers. Like you know what you need to get the job done and get it done correctly. I don't think that, and I'm not a battalion chief. I've never sat in the BC seat, so I could be, whatever. I could be completely wrong here, which is I probably am. I'm wrong all the time. But to me, that's what seems appropriate is like, trust your guys, let them do the work, right? And give them what they need. If you don't trust your guys and you don't trust your officers to make those decisions, then work with your officers until you do trust them and until you align on the same page, right? I have tons of conversation with my battalion chief on tactics. Some we agree on, some we don't. But I believe that my battalion chief trusts me to make decisions. Aren't always right. I'm not perfect. I make bad decisions just like everybody else. But like to me, that's the number one thing that happens, man, is trust your people to do the job. And that goes to battalion chief too, right? If your senior advisor sitting in there watching your battalion chief questioning them make decisions, let them do their thing. Let them make mistakes. Let them run the call. It's their call,
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you hit the nail on the head. So all the chief officers listen to this, and we have a bunch because trust me, they text me on the regular. It like if you again like Riley hit the nail on the head. If you don't trust your crews, put your fucking gear on and go out and train with them. And then if you still don't trust them on what you're doing, guess whose job that is to get them up to? It's your battalion, right? So get them up to where your standards are. That way you can empower them, or more importantly, they will feel empowered and not micromanaged, and they will do exactly what that chief wants done because you've all, everyone's got their gear on together, training together, so we're all on the fucking same page instead of when there's a little bit too much,
Yeah, and like you said, man, the building construction out here lends itself. Everything, at least in our area, everything's new, right? The houses are old, but look at the difference in building construction versus all this new stuff that's being built. These massive tilt slab buildings, even these.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And even these block buildings, everything's sprinklered, everything's safe. It's all B deck or Q deck roof or whatever, right? Like, then go to a place like Casa Grande, right, where it's old construction, the houses are old, the commercials are old, like different tactics drive different things, right? Go to these small towns, go to like Globe, right? Go look at, imagine what Globe Fire has to deal with and their tactics, and they're probably short staffed. They probably don't have all the resources we have in the valley, right? Those guys probably cowboy up and get work done. Like, it's just a different job everywhere you go. But I don't know, kind of went off topic there.
Now, there is no such thing if we're talking about fireman stuff, we're exactly on topic.
I mean, we could spend hours talking about this stuff. You know how it is. That's why you do a podcast.
That's exactly it, right? So, yeah, like I said, I love the firemanship. I love talking about it. So, dude, again, so we're at an hour. I know you're busy. We got a bunch of stuff going on, but I really want to thank you again for taking time out of your day. This should post tomorrow, so let's just call it the 19th of August. So I'm going to edit it out, put it out there for the boys. And again, before we sign off, please, anything about the stair climb that you want to include again, I'll tag everything in the notes. Do you guys have the things we haven't talked about? Do you have an Instagram, Facebook page, things along those lines? And how do guys find you on that?
Yeah, just Instagram's SRFD Stair Climb, and then just Facebook I don't have Facebook. Terry runs that. I think it's just Salt River Stair Climb. But I mean, if you Google like 9/11 Stair Climb or Salt River Stair Climb, it's the first thing that comes up. It's everywhere on the internet. Excuse me. So just Google it, go sign up, saltriverstairclimb.com. Please sign up before the 22nd. Yeah, man, just thanks for having me too. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I know both of our schedules are a little hectic, so if a little bit of good comes out of this, then we're both winning, right?
Yeah, no, and like I said, and that's what we're doing. We're just trying to spread good dudes doing good things for the American Fire Service. So again, thank you so much. And guys, if you made it this far, thank you. Please sign up. The fools will be there. Obviously, you're going to see Riley and his co-parts, right? So Please, if you see him, shake his hand, thank him for what he's doing. And then I hope to see all you guys out there on the 13th. Is that correct? 6 o'clock or 6:30?
Opening ceremony starts at 6:30 p.m.
All right, 6:30 p.m. on the 13th of September, opening ceremonies, and then we'll all embrace the suck and just have a good firemanship afterwards. Sound good, brothers?
That's it. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. All right. We'll catch you guys again. Well, I shouldn't say another 2 weeks. It's a special drop, but please catch the next episode, like and subscribe, and then please leave a review. It helps drive traffic to our podcast. We'll catch you guys again soon. Thank you. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in another 2 weeks. Remember to like, share, review if you can. Helps drive traffic to our podcast. Remember, let's leave our ego out of the fire service. It's amazing what we can accomplish when no one's looking for credit. Much love. Let's stop eating our own and become better firemen. Catch you next time.